it's high performance driving, taking care of your vehicle. Excellence in life is all about the details. My name is Dennis Cohan, and this is Detail Guys. We're just going to make sure you have a good understanding of clay bar. You may want to do this as an enthusiast. Car owner, you may want to take it to a professional. It's not that hard. It can be done improperly. You want to pay attention to how you use the clay bar and your selection of clay bars. This is a fine clay bar. I wouldn't recommend using anything beyond a fine clay bar on your car outside of a body shop environment where they're removing excessive paint overspray. This Porsche GT3 was washed pretty thoroughly and really in clean shape. And what I've done is I've taken fine clay bar, flattened it out into a patty. One's obviously a little bigger than the other one, but just take a piece of a clay bar and flatten it out. And I've rubbed this clay bar over the front of the car. And I'll show you what the action's like. And I'll do it on the roof right here so you can have a good idea of it. I'm using a clay bar lubricant. The surface is very, very wet. I'm going to put this dirty piece aside just for a second. We have a brand new, nice, shiny piece right here, which I flattened out on the front windscreen. And all you're going to do is very lightly move the clay bar over the surface, ideally in the direction the wind would travel. That's the best way to do it, really. You're going to feel it, and you may even have just heard it, pick up something on the finish. And as you move and pick up embedded debris on the finish, you'll start to get some impurities on the clay bar. This one doesn't show very much, and that's because we're doing the top of the car, and the top and actually the hood are in pretty good shape. But again, I'll show you the difference from doing the hood, the front bumper cover on the car, and just to this point right here, half a door, and that's what we picked up. And that is a lot of material to take off the car. And you will typically see it along the rocker panels, behind the fenders. That's where you really want to concentrate. As soon as it gets to this level right here, what you want to do is you want to fold it inside and you want to work the piece. So I'm going to spend a couple of minutes doing this. I'll get this back to another clean side of the clay bar, flatten it out, and we'll continue the process. You can hear it. You can hear it and you can feel it. You should do this before you polish your car. It's part of the paint preparation process. You're either going to use this or you're going to use a paintwork cleanser on a microfiber pad. But you want to go over and really, really clean the surface of the car so that you can polish it or just wax it, depending on what it needs. So the frequency is going to vary depending on the car, what you drive through, and what the finish feels like. I would recommend doing it probably once a quarter. You certainly would want to do it in the spring. You'd certainly want to do it in the fall. If you can sneak in doing it once in the middle of the summer, if you have a lot of miles on in the summer, that'd be a great thing to do. If you have a car that's tucked away in the winter, you've got a little time you can spend on, that'd be a great time to go over it as well in the winter. So, you know, the frequency is going to depend on how clean the surface is. And I would certainly recommend whenever you wash and wax a car, which would probably be at a minimum a couple times a year, but probably 4 times a year. But ultimately, you're looking for that action right there where it's smooth as glass. It's not tugging, it's not picking up anything, it's not making any noise. And you'll go around the entire car, rotating the clay bar like we talked about, and then you'll be ready for polish. All right, so this car's been thoroughly washed, it's been dried, and it's been clay barred extensively. What's left on it before we polish the paint? Well, road grime like you see right here. That's not going to come off from a clay bar. What this actually is hot rubber bits off of this tire from a track environment, and that's okay, we can remove that. What you're likely to get in a highway around town environment is oil from the road, maybe bug marks up front, that type of debris that doesn't come off from the wash and may not completely come off with the clay bar either. So we're going to get a little bit more aggressive in those areas. What I have right here is a paintwork cleanser. There's a lot of products that are out there for removing this type of road grime, and experimentation is probably the key to it. This may or may not work really well on taking the rubber off here, but it'll certainly be a safe way to get started on it. You can see it's eliminating the rubber marks. It takes a good bit of pressure. And I'll just widen that out and work this area with repeated applications. Rotate the microfiber pad and just continue to clean it down until it's clean enough to be polished. You get the vehicle pretty clean with this process. Again, there's other products that you can use that are a little more aggressive. This is a particularly fine product, so it's actually making my work a little bit harder for this really, really tough area that we're working on right here. This is a great product for clear bra, safe on any part of the car, the finish, or the paint protection clear bra on the vehicle. So we would work on these areas, work a little bit harder on a couple other areas, and we'd be all set to go to the polish.